Hello guys, BJTHEBRAVE here, back with some more Shadowverse. Today I'm bringing you a little bit of a follow-up from the interview that I did with Barric, who won the Shadowverse Open with his Modavis and Izukia control. Since then, I have been playing around quite a lot on ladder with Modavis. We talked a bit about some changes we'd make for ladder in that interview. And actually, if we look here at the top of the class rankings, we can see that MingiGod has been dominating the Abyss ranking. So I went and did a little bit of digging and basically found the list that he is running. Here he is on X, posting him getting to the #1 spot. Congratulations! And this is the deck that he's running. So I figured I'll show you this in English. I figured I'd basically take his deck for a spin, and I've been playing that deck, and then I've kind of made a few refinements as well, just to kind of fit my own play style, and to integrate some of the tactics and things that Barric spoke about in his tournament winning run as well. All right, so let's take a look then at, first of all, MingiGod's version, and then I'll show you the tweaks, and then we'll see a bit of gameplay from both versions. Okay, so basically, in the version that got to rank 1 on the ladder, he does not run the Mummy. He actually runs a 3rd copy of the Chaos Cyclone. So he's got 2 copies of the Reaper Deathslash. This is very good in combination with Leah, which he runs 2 copies. You can play Leah out. You can then play Deathslash as a target for Leah, getting that cheap removal, but also drawing as well. And that allows you to play the 3 copies of Chaos Cyclone, because this has Reanimate too. So you can keep reanimating your Leah and keep cycling through your deck, which is pretty cool. Now, he also has a single copy, and this is one of the things from playing that I just didn't really like. It does give you some extra reach, but he has a single copy of Rage of Serpents, which I actually ended up dropping after play testing with it for a while, because I found it just sat in my hand for quite a lot of the game, just really doing nothing. We both ran 3 copies of Castle Entwining. This card's really good. That flexibility of being able to give +1. Sometimes giving that to a Storm unit can win you the game. Sometimes it helps you make an important trade. But the mode ability to obviously be able to draw a card keeps you cycling, and it's really made Abyss much more competitive this season, the fact that it can now keep up on resources and card draw. MingiGod actually ran 3 copies of Gilna Lease and 2 copies of Vuela. That's also worked quite well for me, so we kept that. 3 copies of the Devotee Entwining. Gilna Lease is just such a standout. I mean, obviously in the late game, you need to recognize when it's a matchup where you basically need the the sweetness of Ferocity to help give you reach. You can build some pretty good 1-turn or 2-turn combos to kind of get your opponent down from high health quite quickly. Vuela is just a pretty solid 3-drop. You can obviously combo her out as well with the Super Evo to get bonus stats. The 3 copies of the Devotee, that's giving you that nice ability to deal with wide boards, whether it's from sword boards or Megalorca boards, all that sort of stuff. And then the Screaming Loathing, which is one of my favourite cards from set 3. Just the flexibility of this, you're continuing building modes. You often draw another 3-cost card. Well, this is the only 3-cost spell we have in the deck, so you basically draw another Screaming and Loathing. And then you want to deal 4 damage to clear the board, and then the last one you change that up to a follower quite often. That's the main play, but you can obviously flex as to the need. Now, the Supplicant of Entwining, another really nice addition. I think the 4-drop slot, this is really powerful, particularly when you need to go on tempo and on curve and really try and put some pressure on like you do against Rune and things. Supplicant's right pretty good. And yeah, you can end up doing 6 damage, or you can do 4 heal if you use an Evo point. The Congruent of Entwining, it's got 3 copies of this. And again, not only is it pretty good on 5 with the rush, right? That's 8 worth of stats coming on across 2 bodies. But you can put up decent wards that are hard to clear, like against Albert, for example. The 4 health can't be cleared. Or in the late game, once you've got your 10 faith points and triggered Shamnacha, this card becomes a real beast, because you can essentially play this out and you get to do 4 modes instead of just just the one. So, sorry, two modes instead of one, sorry. And it just leads to a ginormous board, particularly if you Super Evo it as well. Now, MingiGod's actually not running Odin. This is something that I was tweaking with. So he's actually got one copy of Medusa, has got the 3 copies of Rulnai, and 2 copies of Cerberus, and then 3 copies of Jinsetsu. So that is the deck as shared on his Twitter. So let me now just share this with you. Sorry about that. I'd actually been playing around and editing it. So that is what MingiGod's version looked like. It's a really, really good deck. It's nice and consistent. You've obviously got that Rage of Serpents in there to just help give you that additional reach. You know, you can do things like play out a single Rulnai and bank a 0-cost Storm spell. And then once you've Shamnatured, you can play a second Rulnai, and then you've basically got 2 Storms in hand. Obviously with a Super Evo that becomes 13 damage. You could play something like Rage of Serpents, that would be 16 damage. So you can create quite a lot of reach, for example, with it. So I understand why it's there. Just a card I just don't particularly enjoy playing, but you go for it. So how have I evolved the deck after taking this for a spin myself and playing? This is basically how I evolved the deck. I've actually just simply dropped the Rage, and I put a Mummy back in. Now, I know you could say, well, we lose a little bit of the synergy with Leia in terms of, you know, targeting Leia for the draw because we might get the Mummy back. But having a single copy of Mummy is really good because I do think it's this sort of cheeky late game Storm. Or importantly, if we do need to trade in the early game with the 2/2, I just prefer that over the Rage. I kind of see it as extra reach like the Rage anyway if it's got Storm. So I've gone and put a single copy of that in. And then the only other thing that I really changed was I put in the copy of Odin. And I really like having a single Odin in this meta because, you know, it can just deal so well with things like Wilbert. It can also just help put pressure on, like to remove something off the board and then put some damage on, and then our big finishers haven't got as far to go in terms of Cerberus or Rulnai. So I just quite like having a single copy of Odin and a single copy of Medusa. I do think Medusa is very important just for that rune matchup, just so good at dealing with like Norman. And also it's pretty good in the mirror as well, actually, because you do have these boards where, you know, your opponent will go wide with, for example, the Congruent of Entwining or Rulnai, you know, or Jinsetsu or something like that. Medusa can be really, really good. Jinsetsu is an absolute beast, by the way. When you have triggered Shamnacha, the Jinsetsu card is just absolutely phenomenal. So with that said, let's dive into some gameplay now. I'm going to show you some games that I played across the 2 versions. I hope you like it. Hit that thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And I'll be back with the meta snapshot out tomorrow soon. And yeah, appreciate all the support, guys. Thanks for watching.
Can we not? I wasn't built for combat.
Okay, here we go. Swordcraft. So we get rid of, we don't need double layer in hand.
I'll squeeze you dry. Spread our web to the 4 corners.
So in this match, we actually go ahead and play Shamnacha out for tempo. Obviously, we've got 2 other copies of her, but it's really important in this match that we don't fall behind. And generally speaking, we just kind of win this game by being the control player. So there is a more tempo-based aggro game plan you can play with any mid-range deck. But in this matchup, you really want to kind of take on the control mantle and really just out-survive them. So I decide to actually coin out the Congruent here just to help deal with this board. And we will actually go ahead and Evo here as well to keep cycling through our deck. Keep the ward alive. Yeah. Quite a nice turn for us there. Pretty weak turn on our opponent's side. We're actually just going to go ahead and play a congruent. Because we've still got 2 down, we may as well go and just buff the board and just switch. So this is kind of the importance of being flexible too, right? If our opponent's going to play that, even though we traditionally would play as the control, he gave us an option there, he gave us an open window, and we've got to kind of recognize in the middle of the game that actually at that moment we suddenly became the beatdown. So you got to go. The Supplicant's ability here is going to be pretty good, but unfortunately it hit the the wrong one. We had a 66% chance of hitting the one we wanted. So we do get it on the other one. Our opponent's seen enough. He recognizes that with the trade he can't really. Well, he's lost the match there.
Can we not? I wasn't built for combat.
Welcome to Hades, oh doomed spirits.
So in the mirror match, we obviously don't know if it's aggro or not. If it is aggro, then we really want to be just trying to outlast them. But generally in like a mode mirror, you really want to be trying to reach your mode target first. So you want to be keeping your mode cards, throwing other things away. Now, seeing this card makes me think this is more of a mid-range, more of a traditional mid-range deck, but we shall see. So we keep drawing resources, keep triggering mode. Now he's running the Ghastly Soiree, which is obviously a card that Barric was running in his tournament-winning version. We haven't got that in this version, but now we've got to deal with some sticky units.
Now I'm annoyed.
So we're actually going to Evo Leia. I think recognizing here that we're probably in for a bit of a resources game. And actually using the mode there to get the +1 just to make the board trade a bit awkward, forcing him to react with something from a hand. You never know because you can't see the hand, but sometimes those types of plays make you think that you've potentially disrupted. Now, we had a bit of a hand management problem. We just lost a very important card there in the Jinsetsu, so that was very, very unfortunate.
I won out.
Okay. Seems like our opponent's trying to catch up on resources a little bit. We are quite behind on life at the minute, so we just go for the heal option here. Yeah, and we tried to make this as big as we could without using Evo, and obviously we can't draw because our hand's so full. But maybe we could have just saved the castle there, to be honest. We might have needed the draw later. Although seeing Odin come down, he probably would have just killed the castle, potentially, so...
Entwining. Graves clean, flowers placed. Are you having any fun yet?
Wow. The Spirit Gravekeeper played. This is actually quite a sticky board. But we have reached our mode target, so Shamnacha comes down now. And so what we can do is get this lovely combination here when we Super Evo, where we've got Rush and Ward on the board, plus we got the +2/2. And this just creates probably the biggest value board you can make in the deck. But unfortunately, he had his Jinsetsu. She's very good at dealing with those types of boards. Now our final Jinsetsu, because remember we burned one, is at least benefiting from double mode. And we are quite in need of some heal, so we go ahead and pull the trigger.
You did this to me. A fleeting dream, a careful deception.
And his second Jinsetsu in hand. Ouch. So here we go with the Leia sacrifice.
Shame.
Bite the tongue.
Kill the heart.
And again, Rule 9 now getting both diffusion abilities because of the Shannacha.
You big meanie.
Now, we could have held the storm there. We could have held it and tried to save it for more of a sort of burst turn on the next one, but decided to get the damage in while we could. And that's him finished on Super Evos now. He's really going for the beatdown option. He's low on resources.
Burned to stone or swallowed whole.
So Medusa's certainly going to help us here. And mean that we don't need to use that last one. And we can... Do we reanimate here? No, we draw. Oh, we do both, of course, yeah, because of Shamnacha. And that's the other thing with Leia on this, is that it keeps putting up a ward, right? It just helps us out against Storm in the late game. Cerberus looks like a pretty nice target for our final Super Evo.
Now I'm annoyed.
I'll char everything to a crisp you up. I'll rip you to pieces. Owie.
And the other thing with the Reaper's Deathlash is you can do this, where you target your Super Evo unit so you don't actually die because you're immune to being destroyed. And we managed to pull through. So really the game plan there of kind of hitting mode early and outgrinding kind of works.
Can we not? I wasn't built for combat.
Okay, so we got Rune. Well, I actually took a little bit of a gamble here in keeping double 7 drop. I usually do keep Medusa against Rune because the Norman play, the early Norman play is just so... It's just such a shutout for us, so I usually keep that. But I kept Rule 9 as well because I recognise that in this matchup, we either win by beatdown or we win by a kind of big one-turn kill, essentially. And Rule 9 is a big part of that, so I wanted to keep it. It was a little bit greedy, but, you know, Rune don't really put pressure on us. But it does mean that it harbours our ability to tempo out on curve as effectively. We're kind of a bit more reliant on our draw. Anyway, we've got the Supplicant, so we go in here, remove the 2-drop and put some presents on board.
I'll tear this world of yours down. Coming through. Yeah. Yeah. Foiled again, but not for good.
The entwining.
There's going to be an onion every turn. So Screaming and Alarming, just to sort of cycle through the deck, remove the unit, and we can stick Leia down with it as well.
Coming through. Coming through. Wah! I'll tear this world of yours down. Coming through.
More onions.
Watch over you.
I think I thought for a minute about kind of board locking them here.
Lust is beneath me.
But, I mean, that really only works if I've kind of got something I'm going to do within sort of 2 turns. So, in the end, cleared up the board.
You next time.
And, yeah, continue to cycle Screaming. So we're on the last Screaming now.
The cutest.
So such a nice way of thinning the deck, knowing what you're going to have, whilst progressing your mode quest. Right, here comes Rule 9. So what we do here is we actually decide that it's quite a slow turn, so we can play Rule 9, just get Wings of Desire and just bank it, right? And that means that later on in the game, where we've got another Rule 9, we can potentially play 2 Storm units instead of just 1. Now he is going to do what we feared, which is Norman Evo with double Barrier Golem. And this is exactly why we held on to Medusa.
Stone or
Medusa's just so clutch in this situation.
Ruined perfectly good materials.
coming through. Wah! Yeah. Praise me more. Right behind you, man. This fight didn't count.
So we're going to use our final Screaming and Loathing.
Silence.
Hate.
I mean, it hits the wrong one, but it's okay.
Let us build the nest.
I'm going to use an Evo to get rid of this. And the biggest thing driving this line of play is actually our mode counter. Our faith counter is now up to 8. We've got Shamnacha in hand, so we really want to kind of go off ASAP.
Get lost. As it should be.
So if we use the Devotee and we use an Evo, do we decide not to Evo here? I think we did, yeah.
Into the night.
Please, use me as you see fit.
I was umming and ahhing as to whether to use this on Gilnalise or to use it on the Entwining so that we can actually have the 10 faith points.
Coming through. Wah! Yeah.
I think we decided to go down this route, and out comes Norman. Now then. Now he saves the Super Evo. Can't help but think that might have been a mistake for him.
The connection.
So we're going to play Rule Knight,
People are ours now.
and we bank another Storm because we've got the third one in hand. So at this stage of the game now, we are really looking at a kind of one-turn kill win con, right? We've got 2 Storms in hand. We've got the Rule Knight. That means that we could, and the mode is online, double mode is online. So we could essentially play 3 Rule Knights with Storm, which gives us 15 damage. With a Super Evo, that would be 18 damage. So we're just looking at how we can kind of set this up now. Hopefully without using our last
Tribulations continue.
Coming through.
last Super Evo.
Yeah. The truth seeker dons her mask.
The entwining. The
The
entwining.
spark of knowledge.
The Entwining. The Entwining.
Entwining.
And here comes the Devious Mummy, giving us that extra reach that we needed. So here we go, Rule Knight. We get to play both modes out. So we can play the one to get the extra 2 bodies. And then we give each one of them a Wings of Desire.
Love is on me.
That gives us 15 Storm, Super Evo 1 for 18. And that cheeky zombie that we put a 1 of in the deck comes through to help us do the 1-turn kill. Nice, GG.
Can we not? I wasn't built for combat.
Next up, it's Dragon.
This brings me back.
So we throw Shamnatra away. Kind of happy to see the Screaming in hand. So against Dragon, I like to think about Devotees quite good because they do have the ability to go wide with the Mega Lorkers. And Devotee is very good for that.
Tingling purse I hear.
The thing is with Dragon at the minute is we don't really know. It's one of the decks I enjoy facing the least on ladder because you just really have no idea what type of Dragon it's going to be. There's no kind of consistent build yet that's dominant. So you kind of have to take the game a little bit sort of as it comes. You know, it's a bit hard to sort of plan for, unlike say the matchup against Rune or something. But the one thing that I do think is keep your health high. You know, I think that's pretty common against any Dragon build.
Let us build the nest.
So we use the Supplicant here. Helps us to deal with the board without needing to use Evo.
Stand before me.
Too slow.
And down comes Galmeo.
You must be burning up too. Submit.
The entwining.
So we're going to go ahead and do Screaming.
Scream for me.
So the tribulations continue.
The usual filter through the deck. We have got another Devotee in hand. So I actually decide to use an Evo proactively here.
I won out.
See if I can force out his Evo reactively,
I'll subjugate the world.
which we do.
Sardine swing.
Oh, thank God.
And this guy's sitting here nicely in range of the final Scream. I think it's the final Scream and Loathing. Yep, so we draw a follower this time with the 4 damage. And just drop Lair. And draw a follower with the Cyclone. And our mode is up to 8. So we are looking for Shamnatra.
Get a hit? Did we get a hit?
I'll always watch over you. Oh, frost wounds.
Now it's a pretty wide board. We could do some things here with Congruent and Gilnalise and all the rest, but the Devotee of Entwining with Evo just seems like the best option, and that also will get us up to 10. So if we can find Shamnatra now, our double mode is online. And then we do actually play the Congruent with Warding.
And go to entwine.
This is still a card that I'm definitely not 100% confident I'm using right yet. I know some players hold on to it for the post Shamnacha because it's just so powerful when you get to play double mode on it. But sometimes I kind of still like to use it for the tempo. Okay, so now we've seen this guy come down, and it is time. We do not want to lose to a Jerry Wincon, right?
This starving world begs for me.
Okay, so he's using a Gilnalise to help clear this board.
Bite.
You use the Great Testament from Jerry, and that will actually, yeah, that will do it. Well played by our opponent, although if you look at his resources now, he's down to 3 cards all of a sudden. He used a lot of resources to deal with that Jinsetsu. So Rule Night, this time we decide we're not going to be...
Words are futile. Words die.
We're not going in on the one-turn kill.
The power of a spider.
We sort of curve out and try and present a board here. Fortunately, he is running Twilight Dragon. Again, this is one of these things with the Dragon lists at the minute on ladder. You just don't know what they're running. You don't know what version it is. A lot of versions don't have Twilight. That would have been a nice play for us there, but obviously we got punished quite heavily. So we decide to do this play so that we can get the Sweetness of Veracity into hand. Sacrifice the Gilnalise. We don't need to heal right now, so it was quite a nice way of using that. And this is a very, very good target for our Medusa, generally speaking, in this match. So Medusa comes down. He's only got 3 cards. We kind of... There's always that chance with Medusa that they just can't clear it if you play it late enough. And then if you Super Evo, that's 18 damage to face. So they have to be able to deal with it. And you can see here, he's using an AoE clear. He's using his whole turn to deal with that. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Now I'm going to go Rule Nigh and actually play the second Gilnalise to clear the 2-1. No point dying to the Bane in a trade there. And it sets up this double Sweetness of Veracity as well. But like, where is Shamnacha? We're at 16 faith. Lost so much value from not finding that. So we're going to play Ding Dong into Cerberus, I think, and just get the little buff on her. And we're going to go with the aggro option.
My end will never come.
The aggro puppy, rather than the heal puppy. I'll wrap you up!
My glorious story has just begun.
So Fenny comes down for the discount now. Quite late in the day, but obviously we don't want to be waiting around for long with Fenny's ability now in play. More Fangs of the Ardent. Now he's used all of his Super Evos, but he has dealt with the board effectively once again. So we're going to use Ding Dong and Reaper Death Flash. This combination is so nice. And he's down to 9. Down comes the Genesis Dragon. And we find that single copy of Odin that we teched in. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we got the Rule Nice Storm or the Sweetness of Veracity option for the finish. GG. So another game where we're able to like really grind with this deck. I really like it as a kind of classic mid-range deck. It feels like you have a solid control game plan and a solid, a decent enough kind of tempo beatdown game plan as well. So yeah, that is the deck, guys. Hope you liked that one. As I say, congrats to MingiGod for getting rank 1 with his version. Hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.